Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to Shot House. This episode I'm really excited about because I have a really good friend as well as mentor with us tonight. So let's get into it. Welcome to Shot House, the podcast where we explore the craft, challenges, and stories of the farrier's world. From the anvil to the arena, we're here to talk all things hooves, horses, and hard work. Let's get started. Colton, how you doing tonight, brother?
Good, good. It's been a long day.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Man, when you sent me that text, you gave me the list that was still ready to go before the day was over, I don't think I responded. I think my response was "damn." I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh my god!" Like, what do you say to
yeah,
that? I mean, dude,
yeah.
thank you so much for hopping on tonight, man. After such a long day, guys, this is Shot House, and we got Colton Thornton CF in the building. And this episode is called The Road to Becoming a Farrier. And that's why you're such a special guest for our listeners and viewers to have the opportunity to just hear from you because you're at the groundbreaking level when it comes to developing someone in their career. And I can't wait to get into it. But brother, we got to start from the beginning because Oklahoma's not hometown for you. Like, where is home?
No, no. I came from a small little town in the Texas Panhandle, uh, an hour and a half north of Amarillo, Texas. Morse. That was home, and it's been home. Was home for better part of a decade. Um, it's kind of where I met my wife. We've had our daughter, raised our daughter. So that was home, and I had the opportunity to come over here and do what I'm doing now, and so here I am.
That's
But
cool. So you this is your first year in Oklahoma, and the rest of your life has been spent in Texas.
yeah, damn near all of it,
Cool, man.
minus
Cool.
time in the Air Force and a short little bitty stint, 6 months in New Mexico. So
You enlisted into the Air Force out of Texas.
yes, yeah, my senior year, September 11th happened. The start of my senior year, and at that point, I knew I was going to follow some family footsteps. My uncle, he served in the army.
Cool.
I was going to follow in his footsteps and um, defend my country. I was hurt. I was angry, devastated. I mean, I watched the second plane hit the second tower
Oh
live.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I
I
I
mean,
remember that like it was yesterday.
so do I. Still gives me goosebumps.
Where were you exactly?
I had just started second period. I walked into geometry, and we're all gathered in there. Had no idea. And Miss Johnson come walking in and said, "Everybody in the library now." And you could just tell something was not right. That never happened. It was always straight to business. Get right into your education there,
Right.
and we went in there, and it was playing on the TV on Fox News, and it was
Yeah,
just my
it was
jaw
surreal.
dropped.
It was surreal. I remember that. So you're from
Yeah,
Texas. Are you a Longhorns fan? Are you a football guy or like are you
I am not a Longhorns fan, not at
no?
all. Texas Tech was a lot closer. That's kind of if I was going to support a college football, it was them or like Tarleton, TCU, somewhere in there. Not a UT fan.
So born in Texas, joined the military, and but before even all that, like were you around horses? Like what was your life before horseshoeing? Like were you raised around horses? Was this something that was in your life?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I had somebody say not too long ago that they've been around horses and on horses since before they were born. So my mom rode horses growing up, family ranched. My dad was the same way. He cowboyed. Um, so yeah, I've literally been around horses all my life. I remember as a kid, my grandmother had a horse in Lakewood, Colorado. To top this off, um, had a horse in her backyard, and it was kind of a grandfathered in type deal. And we would coax the horse over to the gate, and me and my brother, my twin brother, would coax the horse over and jump on bareback, and he would just walk around in the pen.
That's
So
cool.
no halter, no lead rope, no nothing, just you and the horse.
So you had a thing for horses early.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's a lot of people that get into the trade and they've never really been around horses, and I think it's a really important excuse me, I think it's a really important concept and attribute to have to bring to the table is having some experience being around them, because they're intimidating, and if you don't have some sort of foundation and this is your first day and you're driving nails into them, your success rate is going to be kind of low. Is that true, you think?
yeah. It is. I see it every week, as you know. You went through there. Um, yeah, it is a confidence thing. I don't really believe that there's a bad horse. I think horses have had bad experiences. Um, And so that's when you just have to be patient and take your time and just remind that horse that, hey, I'm not there to hurt you. I'm there to help you. And sometimes you just can't get it done in that set time frame as a farrier. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it happens.
That's something I noticed. You and I took to each other pretty fast, where you felt, I don't know, I'm just maybe putting words in your mouth, but I'll say this, I felt a sense of mentorship from you, and I feel like you've always kind of had that in your soul, in your heart, to have a successful outcome every day. You want positivity every day, and those horses can feel that. And so I think, like, you probably had that as a kid too, like pretty compassionate, loved animals, had good friends, like you weren't a shithead.
Oh, I was that
You
guaranteed.
were.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, for years, there were certain people there in my little hometown that I was referred to as the juvenile delinquent. So,
No
yeah,
way.
and it took a long time to get out of that. So,
So you're
yeah,
just
I
now
was
break.
guaranteed
That was a
a
reputation you had, man. That was set in stone down
horrible
there.
reputation.
That's
Horrible.
why you stayed north of the border. You got a record down there in Texas. Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's cool, man. Well, I was trying to give you a compliment. It was that
No, no, and I
you have,
appreciate it. Yeah,
yeah, as much as you influence horses with your horsemanship, you can see it carries over as an instructor, and it doesn't surprise me this is what you're doing, and that's my next like segment here. Question is like, why choose this trade? That was a question that was asked to me a lot. And so I'm gonna ask you, man, like, why did you choose this avenue for your
I,
career?
I looked at this job, this trade, this industry, years ago, back in 2009, just a few months after my daughter was born. And I have family that shoes horses. I've got a cousin who I'll call once in a while, visit with him, kind of just keep up with him. And I've had other family members that shod horses, and I kind of talked myself out of it. And in a way, I'm glad I did, because I believe everything happens for a reason. And thinking back at that time frame in my life, I was not in a position to get into this industry. I think I would have failed. I think I would have. I was a bad alcoholic. I would have just drank it away, and I'd have wasted it away. Um, so when I got into this, it was initially just to make a little extra money, and I fell in love with it. I mean, pretty dead gum quick. And I have met some amazing people out there, and those people have helped me, have pushed me, and I get to call them my friends now and my mentors. And I'm grateful for those people. Um, and yeah, so now with what I learned from them, I get to go through and share with new students, um, each and every week, and
Well,
I
you
get to
can
continue to learn.
Well, you can definitely just feel your passion for what you do. I mean, every time that we're in the barn, you're productive in one way or another. If it's warming anvil up, if it's, teaching somebody something real minor, like a new student, when it comes to a back punch, you're just always so passionate about teaching the trade, always aware of the horses. And so, everybody's got I think timing is just so important. It really is. And sometimes when you do rush it, you spoil it. And I tip my hat to you for having good timing, because that is a very important characteristic to have when you want to be successful in something, is that it has to be balanced and it has to be the right time.
100%.
Yeah.
I
And
agree 100%.
so when it comes to like the horse world, besides being under them, do you spend any time on top of them? Do you
I
ride?
haven't in a very long time.
Yeah.
It's been better part of a year probably since I've been horseback. And it's just one of those things, timing. I mean, I've got a family now. I've got a daughter. She loves it. I love it. And you have horses. Horses are expensive.
Yeah, they are. And you guys just moved up. You guys are still getting settled in,
We are. We are.
Yeah, y'all getting settled in, because I remember, what was it, maybe now 8 months that you've been here? 6 months? How long you been in Oklahoma now?
I came over in July of 2024.
Right. Damn,
So yeah, we've been here since then.
time flies.
It does.
So you came from Texas and now we're in Oklahoma, and you're just changing lives, dude. You really are, every day. But what's really cool is being a student, which you were, and now being, and then a working farrier, and then coming back to the schoolhouse as an instructor. What's like your day-to-day life perspective as an Oklahoma horseshoeing instructor? Because just my little bit of time being there and observing, it's been interesting, and it's been rewarding. And so, like, what is that life like for you to like give back and all that, brother?
That life is actually very rewarding. But I'm still a student myself. As you know, I mean, I have my CF, my certified farrier with the American Farrier Association, and I'm working towards my journeyman. So I'm still studying. Uh, I get to share what I learn with new students every other week. But I'm still studying. Um, I get up in the morning every other week. I'm in the classroom teaching for an hour. Just kind of the basics, hoof structure, uh, vocabulary, terminology, bones, joints, tendons, and ligaments. Um, I teach all that every other week, and then I'm in the barn every week, every day, Monday through Saturday, and teaching my method of trimming, my method of shoeing, because there's no right and wrong way.
Right.
There's what works for you and what doesn't.
I
So
tell you what, that's the truth right there.
yeah,
There ain't no wrong or right way. I mean, I guess there definitely is, but when it comes to staying within the left and right lateral limits of common sense, I've seen some creativity in the barn when it comes to like how you hold a knife or something, like, hey, it works.
yeah. But there, on that note, there is a right and a wrong way. But
Yeah, there is.
like you said, that's kind of common sense, though.
Yeah.
Should be labeled as. But yeah, no, I mean, as you know, my method of trimming may not be the same as Remington's, our head instructor. Um, but in the end, we're still looking for the same goal for a sound horse to walk out.
Right. Right. Well, I think you have a really cool and unique position there, and it inspired me to, um, be better every day, because you set the bar that high, and you might not even know you're doing it. You do it so naturally. You show up. First off, let's just start off with that. You show up and you're like the best dressed in the barn. I remember some days I was like, I'm gonna put this shirt on. I'm gonna look more fly than Colton today. And I walk in there and your jeans are just creased out, buddy. I mean, so you're always looking really, really sharp, and that's something that the students are definitely seeing. But you've always set the bar so high, and it motivates people because they know that you're not gonna let an inch get by. You're not gonna give an inch. You're not gonna, like, manipulate me with any type of like, oh, feel sorry for me. You set the bar because the horse is priority. And that's something that like, it's really cool to be under you guys now as a junior instructor coming in starting Monday. I'll be there.
Yeah,
And,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. And to be able to like have that bar be set and be motivated every day, that's a unique environment, man. And like you create that. I want you to know that. Like you are the
I
heartbeat.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. But as far as like it's to me, it's a mentality. I mean, I consider myself a professional, and I'm not going to show up outside of there to go up and say shoe a horse for somebody and not look presentable, not look professional. I've kind of always had that mindset. I get made fun of that for being that way, but that's just kind of my mentality. Um,
Right.
I want my pants to look good. I want my shirts to not be wrinkled. I don't like holes in anything. That's a huge pet peeve of mine. It drives my wife nuts, but and I can see her
So,
point because the
so
cost of everything now. Good
so
Lord, yeah.
if I took you thrift store shopping, that would be out of your element. Is that what you're saying?
I'm very picky. I'm
Are
very
you?
picky. Now I have got some really
I can
nice
tell.
shirts in a thrift store. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Hey, I'm repping my OHS shirt. I think is this the old logo?
No, that is the new logo.
It's the new logo. So I also have,
That is the new logo.
man, they had a deal. I couldn't pass up on the deal. They had a $5 shirt day. I should have bought
Yeah,
more of them. I should have
you
bought
should have
more.
bought more.
I
I
should
have
have, man.
several of those.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, so did you move to Oklahoma for this position that OHS offered you?
Yes. 100%.
Cool. And so before that, you were in Texas shoeing horses?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And I think the biggest reason that two reasons I took this job, this position, was one to share what I've learned and what I continue to learn on a daily basis, and two, I wasn't able to pay bills at home. Um, as you know, I mean, it's a fair. You have a cost. You have a fee,
Mhm.
um, and with when the cost of living is here,
Mhm.
and you're only able to make it to here. I mean, you have a choice to make.
Yeah, and
You know.
Texas is not. A lot of people think like I'm gonna move down south. It's more affordable, but hey, Texas is it's expensive.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't
Yeah.
know why that is. Why is that? Why is it that you come just north of the border an hour and the cost of living changes so much? Because like where my mom lives is in North Texas, and it's about an hour and 45 minutes south.
Well,
Okay,
I
and
actually came from the Texas Panhandle, so I didn't come north. I actually came east.
right, like
Um,
Amarillo, and all
yeah,
that.
I
Got
was an hour and a half north of Amarillo, so
Gotcha, gotcha.
I came somewhat south, but
Hmm.
east.
So you're like
Um,
kind of on the what's that? Is that Colorado border right there?
the Oklahoma Panhandle, up there
Doesn't
around
that?
Guyman, Goodwill.
But yeah, doesn't that border with Colorado?
You actually have to drive either through New Mexico or through Oklahoma to get to Colorado, but it's not a very far drive.
Right,
It's a quick little drive.
right.
Um,
Yeah, and
but
it's
no,
like
and
nothing's out there really.
no, it's so stinking flat. People don't realize how flat it is.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
on a flat plane, and I learned this years ago. On a flat plane, you can see 9 miles, and you
Wow.
can see 9 miles in the Texas Panhandle.
I don't know where I read this at. Kind of a sidetrack, but I heard that like China purchased the Panhandle of Oklahoma.
No, no.
No.
There's Native American owned land up there.
Yeah, I need to
They're
get
putting
off the
casinos in up there.
I need to get off the Lance Corporal Underground. That's where I get my news resource, the scuttlebutt. So what did you do in the military?
I was an ammo troop, uh, building bombs, and actually the shop that I was in was trailer maintenance, and so I
Cool,
maintained the trailers that hauled the bombs, the JDAM bombs,
cool,
to the
cool.
B1 B Lancer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you did four. Okay. those
I
contracts
did. I
are different,
enlisted for 4,
right?
um, but I did 2 years, 1 month, and 1 day.
2 years, 1 month, 1 day.
Yep.
Easy. Yeah,
Yep.
got to cut in
Down
half.
to the day.
Perfect.
Down to the day.
And so, did you use the GI Bill to go to school?
I wasn't able to.
Gotcha.
Um, there were several stipulations in there.
Right.
Because I enlisted for 4 years, I would have had to have completed 3 in order
Yep.
to use
I
like a
think
GI
I
Bill.
know exactly
So
what you're talking about. You were close.
yeah,
You were
close.
close. Man,
Didn't quite get the
that
cut.
saved me, and I'm gonna have a podcast talking about some of the military benefits, and that's what's really cool about OHS is that they accept the
Yeah,
VA loan. Did you go to Oklahoma Horseshoeing School?
I did. I did. I went from April of 2021, and I graduated. I think it was June 6th of 2021. So yeah, I did go to OHS.
Do you feel like time is just whizzed by?
In ways, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I feel like
there's
time's just moving so quick.
it does when you get older. For crying out loud.
I know it's wild. Like I've already been in Oklahoma now for over a year because I'm from
Yeah,
Texas as well. I was born and
yeah.
raised in Texas. I enlisted out of Texas, and man, I still feel like I know I moved into my house, but I still feel like we're discovering new things. I just discovered a new pantry door on in my kitchen. Yeah, I had no idea it was there. So we're still
We're
discovering
not
things.
even completely unpacked yet.
Yeah, and so you've been here for almost a year. You're not even. Yeah, so I'm saying like time flies so fast. So you guys showed up, head down, feet pumping, and that's hard to do because you got at the OHS. You're working 6 days a week,
Yep.
and that's the only school in the nation, correct, that works 6 days a week.
Don't ask me that. I'll be lying if I tell you otherwise.
Well, I'm gonna say it. It's the only school in the nation that's putting in the work. No, I'm joking. There's some great schools out there. This is just so convenient because it's
Well,
right off the highway too.
it is, but we are one of the only schools that goes 365 days a year.
Yeah, we did not. We y'all showed we. I was almost no. I missed that day. I went down to Texas. Y'all worked on Christmas. I know y'all
We worked
did.
on we worked on
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. We worked on Christmas. We worked on New Year's
Yep.
Day, New Year's Eve.
Every
It
day.
may have been a short day, but we worked that day.
Yep. I like it. I like it, man. So I think this is a really cool question because this is part of the tradition, right? The only way we're gonna keep on with the keep on is passing it on. And so,
Yeah.
what's like the best advice that you can pass on to I say young, but it doesn't really matter. I just say fresh, junior, a rookie in the industry, just getting out of school, starting a business. What is some of the best advice you could tee him up with?
Don't stop learning. Period. Um, there's books out there to get. Read them. Go through, study them. Study certain parts. You don't need to know everything, but there's stuff in those books that you need to know and you need to be fluent on so that you can communicate with your customer. For one, um, and I tell every one of the students in there when I'm working with them, find your system, find your routine, and then start working on that routine, and you will get faster each and every time. And so many people second guess themselves. Um, I see that almost on a daily basis. And then there's guys like you that be like, you'll send me a text message or something. I had you on my shoulder today saying, don't do this, do this.
Very true.
So, and then what you learn, share. Um, this industry is made a positive change in recent years. And for a long time, it was um, those farriers, those horseshoers that knew stuff. They didn't pass it on. They kept a hold of it. They didn't share that information, and that's not what this industry is now. We're sharing this information, what we learn, what we know, and it's phenomenal for this industry. Another reason why I love this industry, why I love doing what I'm doing. I love shoeing horses. I love being a farrier.
Mm-hmm. Badass, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is. It is, dude.
You know,
Man,
and
that's
I saw a clip, and as you know, my hearing is hard of hearing. But I saw a clip, and I had to crank that volume clear up just so I could hear it. But it was Cody Gregory, and somebody just filmed it with their camera, and he said it best. Um, this job is the best job, period, because no matter how much you know, how much you think you know, there's always something else to learn. And then another one of the instructors that I had when I was going to school, he said this best: no machine will ever take over this job. No computer will ever be able to do this job.
mm-hmm.
So we're it.
Isn't that crazy to think about though? Like it's the oldest trade and it's still being done fairly the same. You know, that's one thing that I
In
love
ways,
is,
yeah.
you know, we at the schoolhouse we learn the tradition and the anatomy and forging and, but I gotta be honest, when I found out about those pre-shaped shelf shoes, baby, I was like, yeah, buddy.
No, I use them. I use them. There's nothing wrong with it.
But man, I feel like Rambo when I'm on that forge. I grew up on like Rocky and Rambo. And so when we were in that barn and it's how hot do you think it got in there? 150?
Easily 130,
130?
and it depends on what side of the barn you're on.
There's moments when you have to go Rambo. Like you have to go
Yeah,
savage, dude, you know, because
yeah,
it is miserable, but it's worth it because it's you're representing something that's so powerful and you're doing it. Look, man, as you know, I was a musician, and when I first got going, I was booed off stages and humiliated in front of crowds, and it was humbling, you know, and but it only impacted me. No one else was impacted, you know. In this industry, you grind for a different purpose because you're impacting others. And when that switch,
yeah.
when it turns like that, and you're starting to realize, like, wow, you know, I'm showing up at 4 a.m. in the morning and learning how to fit these patterns, not just for myself, but for all the future horses I'm about to be under and all the future owners. You know what I mean? Like, that's a huge responsibility, man. Like, if if it wasn't for guys like you showing up every day, 6 days a week, 365 days a year, and continuing that, you're right, it would die off. You know, nobody
Yeah,
would
it
pass away.
would. Yeah, yep. I agree with that 100%.
You know, and
That's why
I
I
guess
love what I'm doing. I love it.
I guess TikTok.
Yeah, that's kind of blown up. I've had.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you've seen some of mine.
yeah, I have. You're liking it, huh?
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, you like it. I can
It's
tell you
just
like
hard.
it.
It's just hard to maintain to
I
stay
remember. I
busy. I
remember.
get so wrapped up in teaching that
Right,
crap.
it
I
is
forget to
hard.
stop and take pictures or take video. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So as you know,
Well, here we got to look. We got to do that for each other. Then you know what I mean. Every like maybe once or twice a week, be like, hey, we got a case coming in or something that you want to be able to document. Pull me over there. You're like, JT, here's the camera. Boom, I got you. You know what I mean? I got you.
cool.
I'm a team. I'm a
All
team
right.
player, man. I got you.
I'll hold you to that.
So what? So we're in 2025. What's the future for you when it comes to maybe? Let's just talk about maybe this year. What's your 1 year goal for 2025? What you want to achieve, man?
Get my journeyman. Get my
Okay.
journeyman. I've been working on that for about 2 years now. And I've known where I've struggled, where I've sucked. Um, is a friend of mine, Brad Snyder, told me, as well as Justin Frank at the last certification that I made my attempt on. I suck. So I know where I've needed to work on, and that's where I've been working on. So Yeah.
And you have, man. You've been working. Like, the day will get going, and I look over there, and everybody's kind of like an autopilot, and you got something going on. And I remember walking over there to you. I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" You're like, "Dude, fuck, grinding on for this journeyman."
Yeah.
Like you got to
It's
get it
hard.
in
It's
when you can get it
challenging.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100% for sure.
yeah, yeah. Because your day will go from 7 a.m. to sometimes 7 p.m., 8 p.m.
My day usually starts at anywhere 5:30 to 6. So, and then as you know, in the summertime, we start earlier to avoid the heat. So my day actually starts a lot sooner than that. Um,
Mhm.
whereas the students, they get to wake up within 15 minutes and walk to class. I'm up, I'm studying, or I'm up at the barn, I'm foraging. A little cold to do that right now. Uh, I don't feel like waiting 30 minutes for my ammo to warm up just so I can go through and weld bar shoes. Um, so I am waiting for some warmer weather, and then I'll be in there from
It got colder
before
than what
sun
I
up.
thought it
And
was gonna get. It got real cold,
I
a
tell you
lot
what,
colder.
when I'm wearing thermals, jeans, and bib overalls,
You're good to
and I
go.
have to let out my aprons completely just so I can wear my apron to get under a horse.
Yeah,
That's too cold.
it is, man. You wouldn't think it'd be that cold. We got like 9 inches of snow, like out of nowhere. Like what?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
wild.
Well, I think I only had about 3 inches here at the house. I think to the north and south of us, though, got a lot more.
Yeah, I know we got close to like 8. I think. I don't know. I round everything up. If it'd be like 6 1/4, I'm like, I will call it 9.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Yeah. So are you gonna do some like competitions and stuff coming up this year at all?
Actually, I have my first competition is going to be towards the end of February, the Oklahoma Farrier Association competition. So I'm entered in that. Looking forward to that. Been working on that. That's a little different stuff. I'm working with Concave on that one. Um, so, and Concave is different. Um, so I'm trying to figure that out. Fortunately, I've got some good people to help me with that one. So I've been learning a few tips and tricks to go through and work with that stuff. So, but yeah, that's I think February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Um, and we're all going from the school. Everybody's going to go up there. There's a clinic that's going to happen. Several of us instructors are entered in it. Um, so some students are going to get to watch us go through and put in the work and um, hopefully come out with more importantly just experience.
Absolutely. And you touched on it earlier in the podcast about the community, the camaraderie, the brotherhood. And I know that it's said many times throughout the week through the school is when instructors are telling the students about the this community in this industry. It's so tight knit. And I bet those clinics and those summits and those competitions, I bet they're a blast. I bet you make great friends that are gonna last forever, you know?
I have met some great people, I'm glad now that I get to call them friends. Um, two very influential people. Dusty Franklin, he owns Five Star Horse Show School. I've been to his place several times, and I've learned a lot from that man. And this last certification that I made, another journeyman run on. He called me over, told me what horse I was going to be shoeing. And as he went to walk away, he turned around. He said, "Colton, kick some ass." Um, kind of hit me in the feelers, and I was a little shocked, but I was humbled that he actually turned around and told me to kick some ass to get it done because he believed that I could. Um, and later on that same day, another person, Justin Frank, I met him there at Dusty Franklin's like 2 years prior to that. Um, he I went to shake his hand, tell him I was fixing to head back over here to the house, and he shook my hand. He said, "Hey, keep in touch." And I said, "Well, we're on Facebook. We keep in touch." And he stopped me. He said, "No, you're going to do great things.
Hmm.
Keep in touch. Keep me updated on how you're doing. That right
Hmm.
there was just, I mean, it kind of hits you in the feels
It
to
does
have
because
those people that have been journeyman farriers that are examiners now. They've proven themselves time and time again. To have them go through and believe in you that much, and it's like, wow.
I think people like that can tell. They can just tell. They can smell it on you. They know. They can
Probably,
look at, yeah, they just know. It's no different than when you're in a crowd of people and you can look around, you just kind of get a vibe for, oh, there's a guy with a cowboy hat. I'm gonna go over there and talk. It's just a thing. You pick up on who you're communicating with. And when people like that feel like the person they're talking to is listening and they're humble enough to absorb the knowledge, they'll pass it on, I believe. And I bet you there's so many
yeah,
people that knock on their doors and call them that are not going to take that knowledge and carry on the tradition. And so that's guaranteed. That's what it was, is that he knows what you're about to go through, and he wants to pass it
yeah,
on. Like, go kick
a
ass and
hundred
don't worry.
percent.
Yeah. Get out of your
Yeah,
own way, brother. Get out of your own way, man. You got this,
yeah. But you know, it's
that's,
the grindstone put in the
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love that. That's always, an answer to the questions when people are asking, how do I do this, or what am I doing wrong? It's like, well, go do it 50 times.
yeah.
Like,
And then come show
yeah.
me.
And then come, and it's like that with everything. Even in like the music world, when I would meet somebody and they were like, hey, what does it take to go on a national tour? Well, go play 10 years in your hometown and get booed off stages. And, like,
Yeah,
figure it out that way. And I just talked to Jackson about this, is that maybe it's not the fact, maybe it's not a personal thing for me. It's just, that's the route you have to go. I kind of said in that podcast, I said, I always choose the dumbest route or the hardest route. It's like, I never can really find the easy way. And it's like, you're not supposed to. That's why.
no, you're not. Yeah,
That's not a real
you're
thing.
supposed to fall flat on your face. And if you fall flat on your face 10 times, by God, you better get up 11. You know,
Mhm.
you have to keep pushing forward. You have to keep bettering yourself. That's how you learn.
Yep.
You're gonna make mistakes, and that's what we tell the students damn near on a daily basis. You're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen, but you learn from those mistakes.
Man, that's what I'm saying. I grew up on that Balboa, Rocky Balboa, brother. I love that moment of triumph too. And that's what's really cool about being an instructor at OHS. And I can't wait for Monday and be there every other week and start developing a relationship with these students, because that moment of triumph is so powerful. When you watch somebody get it, when they figure it out and they look back at you and you're like, yeah, it just happened. So that
Yeah,
whatever that feeling was, don't go away from that feeling. Keep doing what you're doing.
no,
You know,
yeah,
drop the hand and rotate in, or see, when you hit the air, you don't smash your nail holes. It's like,
yeah.
it's moments like that, man. I bet you see that every day, huh?
Well, and I'm thinking back to my time, and as you know, there has been changes in the curriculum and whatnot. Um, but the forging proficiencies now are different than they were when I was going to school. Um, I went through and I started off with a back punch or a Pritchell and a four punch. And then I went to a basic front with 3 or 6 nail holes. I had to make a pair. And then I went to a basic hind and I had to make a pair of those. And then I went to clips. And it wasn't a matter of going through and you had to do an efficient job and show that you were capable of doing it to move forward, move on to your next forging proficiency. I spent 3 weeks on clips. I sucked at clips. And then once it clicked, once I figured out how I could do it, light bulb. And I get to see that see that on a face probably every day. And
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, ding ding ding.
Mhm. It
This
is so
works.
cool. Yep. I think I just lost my camera. My bad, man. No big worries, though. We still have audio. Hey, this next part right here is called Rep Your Rig, brother.
All right.
And so we're just going to kind of go down a list, and you let me know what you got in your toolbox and give them a shout out, man. So let's start with your driving hammer. What you swinging, dog? What you swinging?
I've got the Tyler Jews. I think it's the 10 ounce, maybe the 12 ounce. I love that thing.
What do you
I've
love
had
about
that
it?
for, it's just so smooth. And I mean, I drive nails smooth and effortless. So that's my driving hammer.
Man, a driving hammer is important because, like, you'll go from one student's bay to another and switch out from one driving hammer to another. And there's some out there you're like, what is this? Get this out of my hands. I don't want nothing to do with it. And then you have some you're like, oh, that's butter. I like that. All right, man.
Yeah.
Next one, nippers.
Right now I've got a set of GEs that I'm liking, and I go through about a set of nippers every year. I've had the Mustad premiums. I like them, but I'm really liking my GEs.
So you've had them now for a year,
Probably, yeah.
and those have a warranty of some sort on them, don't they?
They do. And matter of fact, I've got a good friend that's remaking GE nippers for
Nice,
GE now.
nice. GE. I think that's
I've got
everybody. That's everybody's like. Once you get into school and you start realizing how important the nipper is, and you start working with a pair of GEs, you're like, oh my gosh, why did I not buy those?
now. I've got a set of MFC 15 inchers that I got back when I was still at school there for draft feet, and they work really well on those thick, hard sole on hoof walls.
Yeah, I just
So
invested in the MFC.
if I've got something that's got really hard hoof walls, I'm not going to risk tearing up another set. I don't know. I've got like 4 or 5 pairs of nippers now. Um, but those MFCs 15 inches are are kind of butter within draft feet.
And they make a 14 too now, I think.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
got the 14s. I finally invested in them because when I started, I had the mustads and I wore them things down, and I was like, you know what? That's a big level up to your toolbox is getting some good quality nippers. What are you banging on though, brother? What are you hitting? What anvil are you using?
Oh man, I'm loving my Scott. I've got the Scott tapered heel. I don't think I'll ever switch away from the Scott anvil.
What do you like about it? I see like some of these anvils got like different face sizes, different horn shapes. They got like little knocks and nicks and different types of attributes added to them. What is a Scott got that you love so much?
My first anvil was a JHM certifier. Um, and trying to figure out how to use that thing, I was efficient. I'm not going to lie. It had a narrower face and it had the heel cams. Um, but once I truly learned how to forge, and I'm still learning how to forge, don't get me wrong. But once I learned how to use my horn for the most part, um, I switched to the Scott. I love the round horn. I love how the horn itself really tapers out to a finer point where if I need to make a really tight turn on a heel or something, I can do that and I can make it look beautiful. I'm not a fan of heel cams whatsoever. Um, I can do everything on the horn and the face that that I need to, and I can make that shoe look beautiful. So I love the big face. I love the tapered heel for clips, um, and I love that round horn.
Rounding hammer. What do you beating metal with, brother?
I've gone through several of those too. I do have a 2 pound Austin Edens pile driver. I've kind of retired it. And now I'm swinging a Ben Schnur, square face. Um, and I am loving it. That thing moves metal so effortless, smooth, the swing. Oh my gosh. When I got it the first time I used it, I was like, oh wow. It's handmade and it was handmade in Clarendon, Texas. So,
What's
yeah.
your favorite shoe size? I think this is a really cool question because, man, there's a culture to these shoe sizes. You know what I mean? So, like, what's your favorite size there?
Probably an ought, in all honesty. And a lot of the horses that I get back in Texas, and even just a couple that I've done here, they're usually a double ought to a one. So an ought's right there in the middle. So an ought, and I had more ought size horses back in Texas than anything else.
Yeah, I like it a lot, man. I did some triple oughts the other day, and I feel like I like the in state of that smaller foot, but man, an odd is in that sweet spot where it's I feel like my eyes can make adjustments easier and see the foot flatter, and it's just my wheelhouse as well. So I would agree with you on that. What's the biggest size foot that you've ever shod?
uh, for myself or the school, because there's two different ones there. The biggest foot that I shot outside, and this is with shoes, was a three, and this was a draft quarter horse cross. Um, Now I've trimmed horses' feet. I had a client back in Texas, and here's a crazy story on this one. I thought I'd messed with my last draft horse in school 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Um, a lady calls me up, says, I'm getting older. I have some horses that I've just trimmed them. So that's all I need help with. So if you can come help me trim my horses, I would be grateful. And I showed up to this lady's house, and I saw Palomino draft horses. And I was like, what in the world did I get myself into? But this lady actually saved the American cream draft horse from extinction just
Wow.
by going through and buying them up, training them, and showing them. Um, so outside of that, but the biggest size would,
Because there's
I
been
think
some
we had
large
to do
ones.
some handmaids. We had to
I
do some
remember.
handmaids at school because we couldn't get a shoe big enough for them. And that was
What's
the biggest shoe we had was a,
what's the biggest size that the school offers? Like a 7, 8, 7?
no, it'd be a 10.
So they go all the way up to 10, and it was bigger than that.
It was bigger than that.
It's a big foot, brother.
That is a
Man,
big foot.
Colton, thank you so much for hopping on tonight and just sharing your story and inspiring young people, old people, really doesn't matter, because I think it's all about reinventing yourself every day if you can. And that's living life, man. And you allow an environment for people to step in there no matter where they're from, what age they are, and you connect with them. That's an important trait as a leader, and I'm excited to be able to work under you, brother, and learn so much from you. And hopefully we can continue that too, man. They don't get rid of me after 3 months. I like to stick around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on. Like I said it earlier. I love what I do. I love getting up and being able to go shoe horses.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Colton Thornton CF, instructor at OHS. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, JT.
Welcome to Shot House, the podcast where we explore the craft, challenges, and stories of the farrier's world. From the anvil to the arena, we're here to talk all things hooves, horses, and hard work. Let's get started.